Okay, this is for anybody who wants to pinstripe their car using one of the pinstriping kits that you can find online with the vinyl striping. Most of the videos that I found online were pretty much straightforward, nothing fancy about them, didn't have any that really followed a lot of curves, no ends on them really. So I had pinstriping on this already. It's a 17.5 Nissan Murano. Last year it didn't last. It was one of the Japanese ones. Claimed it had 3M adhesive, but I doubt it did. It didn't last at all. So this is for people, like I say, who've never pinstriped or have only pinstriped a lot of tips. Hopefully that'll help you out. As you can see, the car has a big swooping line, and I'm actually going to follow that line all the way up to the back on both sides. And I have the what they call 1/16, 1/16, 1/8, which is two pinstripes, one narrow and one thicker. And the thicker is going to be on the bottom, and the narrow one will be on the top, actually following the line. And I've designed come up with a few ideas for the termination of the ends. Normally you just see an arrow, or with a pre-package you get something like this right here with little ends on it. This is what I had on it originally. It didn't last. Like I say, it came right off. So I sat doodling in front of the TV, and here's a couple things that I came up with. This one right here actually is something that I followed online. These two, I was just playing doodling around. That's for the front, and this is for the rear over here. So actually what I came up with is this right here. This is the front and that's the rear, and I'll show you right here. We'll go back over to the front of the car over here, and this is going to actually be right along the bottom of the line, right here, terminating, and that'll be right on the bottom right there. Follow the line. That's right about where the line ends, fades out. So that's where that'll be at, right there. It's a little glary because I hung a light right here for extra lighting. Last time I did it, I was a little wobbly on the lines, wavy, because I didn't have good lighting. And on the other side of the car, I'm going to show you, because the back right here, as you can see, the line comes back, comes along, and then it just kind of fades right there. So what I'm going to do is, this is the back right there. It's going to come up and fade, and then hopefully I can get that design in right there to where it ends. And I want it to kind of end up along that. I want to kind of end the point up along that line right there. So it'll kind of like tie it all in together. That's my hope anyway. Second time doing this, so don't give me too much credit. And so that's the design I'm using for the ends. And what I picked up for the actual stuff right here is this a premium grade. This is, if you go on the videos, this is what the guys are actually using. Premium striping tape. If you can read that, it has to be above 55 degrees. So since my basement here sits about 54 degrees, I put the space heater on this morning. It's noon right now, and as you can see, I got 64 degrees in here, so I'll be fine to install this. And of course, you got to clean your grease and oil off. And if you have your car waxed, you can use acetone and finish up with denatured alcohol and final rinse off of water right there. So you have them all there. And of course, plenty of paper towels, shop towels. If this right here states that it is a permanent acrylic pressure sensitive adhesive, if it was 3M, I'd recommend it after everything's clean is putting down the 3M primer here. Because boy, let me tell you, when you put that 3M primer down and you put your, whatever you're putting on there, if it's a 3M adhesive, like your emblems on the car or whatever, you heat that up, you heat the whole thing up with your hot air gun to about 100 degrees, and that sucker will never come off. You actually have to heat it up to get it back off. Back to the pinstriping that I picked up. This is a cobalt blue with glitter in it. I'm sure you can see that. And so I got that because the car has the glitter in it too, the gunmetal gray. And once it's all said and done, I have some clear coat, because the car has a clear coat, that you actually use this with a pinstripe, with a very fine paintbrush, and you hit the ends right here and here where they're joining, and it keeps them from lifting up. And of course you need a good, for a squeegee, I just use a good rewards card, cover it with a couple layers of the blue paper towel to give it some cushion, and I'm good to go there. The other thing you'll need is a very good X-Acto knife for cutting, and the blade that I prefer, that I've used before, that I found to be good, is it's a rounded edge, so it lets you rock your way down when you go. You don't have to worry about hitting the paint on the car. And so you need that. I got scissors to cut the tape in lengths. Another thing that I want to go over is, before I start, is there's two ways to terminate at joints on the door. One of them that I see everybody use, which I don't like, is the cut at the edge. It just makes it look, that's not the way if they're painting. If it's actual paint, that's not how they do it. They actually go around. So what I'm going to be doing is, instead of having one long continuous strip, I'm going to be starting here with extra, so that I can make my little pointy thing. I'm going to come down, I'm going to leave an inch overlap here, and then I'm going to take off again with another inch up here, and I'm going to do each door that way. And then what I'll do is I'll be lifting and tucking down in and under on all of them, cutting them and setting them in properly, so that they'll be underneath the door on the inside. And really it's just a matter of making sure it's extremely clean and not touching the adhesive at all with your fingers when you're doing it, because once you touch it, you contaminate it. It just loses its stickiness right away. No matter what you do, you'll never get the original back. So you want to make sure everything is pristine clear. You want to open up the doors, make sure you have the inside, back inside of there opened up. So you want to open it up, and right in right here, I'm sure you can see my finger with where it's going to wrap around. You want to definitely make sure that's all clean and prepped, so that when you bring the tape around, it has a good point to stick. And that's also where you're going to use a clear coat to glue it down to keep it from lifting back up. Up in here, you have to be a little bit inventive and have a skinny finger. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. That's the door right here. And if you can just barely see over here, that's the inside the fender, where my finger is right there, where you have to keep and tack it down right there too. But everything is pretty well clear. You can see the inside the door here. Bring it down and just tack it right in here. I'm not going to try to make that corner right there and have that flat part with it too. That'd be just kind of ridiculous. But the same thing with the back door. Bring it around. I'm going to wrap it around and do to the back right there, and the same thing where it ends right over here. Okay, that's it for right now. That's the intro right there, everything you need. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this into segments. So this is going to be one segment. I'm not going to tie them all together into one long video. I'm going to break it into segments that you can watch what you need. So like I said, this is the intro, supplies you need, some of the problems, which way you want to do it, and you know, that kind of stuff. Have any questions? Leave. Not sure if I'll answer them or not, but you can leave a question. I might get back to you.